two teams that will live forever in Philadelphia basketball lore.
Oh, boy, Charlie, I haven't seen college basketball like this ever.
Comcast Sportsnet, along with the Philadelphia Big Five, are proud to present One for the Ages, February 8, 1969, LaSalle and Villanova. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for this special Big Five Classic presentation, A Game for the Ages. I am Dee Lynam. Number 7, LaSalle, with a record of 17-1, taking on 8th-ranked Villanova, who was 16-2 at the famed Palestra. Sophomores Howard Porter and Ken Durrett squaring off for the first time. To help us over the next 2 hours, we have 3 very special guests. Big Al Meltzer, who called the game, Fran Dunphy, who came off the bench for LaSalle, and Fran O'Hanlon, who started for Villanova. Gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for being with us, and we'll begin by talking about the atmosphere that surrounded this game. Dunph, I know Larry Cannon called it a crusade to get this win. So in that locker room, how intense were things heading into the contest?
Well, it was a great build-up to the game. There's no question about that. Villanova had been playing terrific basketball. I thought our team was playing great from the, we actually had lost one game in December, late December, so we were playing well. This is a lot of years ago, but what I remember, it was intense. Everybody was nervous like you can't believe. But that was one of the great things, though, was sitting in that locker room, anticipating coming out of the locker room for this second game. That was just so much fun to get out there and run out onto the court.
And Fran O'Hanlon, I know a lot of us, because if we spend any time at the Palestra growing up or you guys playing there, you know what Big Five doubleheaders were like. But there's a lot of people who might watch this tonight who don't really know what that atmosphere was and what it meant to be a part of that as a player.
Well, first of all, you had the streamers, and midway through the first game, you would always hear the student section starting to cheer for the next game. So the game could be in the crucial stages, and Villanova and LaSalle fans are cheering for their own teams. It was as they used, I think, pandemonium at the Palestra,
right.
As Les Kiter used to say. It was a tremendous atmosphere, great build up to the game, and I can still remember sitting on that bench ready to be introduced, and we were joking because some of our guys were talking about, hey, why don't we run out there like Larry Cannon, who used to come out with a special run. And I can still remember that, and I said, I don't think I would, because I'll see Larry in the summer and he'll beat the crap out of me. But it was such a great atmosphere and a build up to this game. And one of the things for LaSalle, they weren't permitted to go to the NCAA that year, so I think it had special significance because this was their opportunity to show the country, that we're going to be as good as any team in the country.
Yeah, and now they had what would become 4 pros on that team. Yeah. For you calling the game, and obviously these 2 players who are sophomores and going to show everybody who they are for the first time, did you know the magnitude of what you were going to see going in?
Absolutely. Oh, sure. I saw them play as freshmen. And he's right. Those are the great games. But by the time that they played each other, these are ranked teams with 2 of the best players up to that moment, save perhaps Tom Gold of LaSalle, and maybe a couple of others. They were the best players ever to play in the Big Five up to that point. And the schools, the rivalry, the Big Five, and the Palestra. See, the one thing I want to talk about is the Palestra, because more basketball games have been played in the Palestra than any place in the world. You know that?
I do.
Okay. So I would walk into the Palestra at 5 o'clock or 5:30 for a 7 o'clock doubleheader. And as I walked down the runway, and there's not a soul in the place, the hair started to stand up at the back of my neck. I'm here, and it's going to be a heck of a night.
And it was. All right, let's get to the starting lineups. And first for LaSalle, 4 of the 5 starters were seniors. Ken Durrett, of course, was not. Bernie Williams and Roland Fatty Taylor were the guards. On the front line, they had Larry Cannon, who came out in that good old way in the starting lineup. Stan Ladarchik, who they were up front, and then there was Ken Durrett, who was a sophomore, who averaged 20 in his first year of college basketball. As for the Wildcats, Frank Gillen and Fran O'Hanlon were in the backcourt for them. In the front court, Johnny Jones and Sam Sims. They patrolled the boards. Then in the middle, it was Howard Porter. He averaged almost 23 points in his first season of college basketball. Time to get to the action. We will bring you every minute of old videotape that the Big Five has graciously provided us for this broadcast. In total, there are 73 minutes, so we will come back periodically and break down the action we have seen, sort of a current day presentation of an old school classic. Without further ado, LaSalle Villanova, February 8th, 1969. Charlie Swift and, of course, Big Al Meltzer, they have the call.
So two of the top teams in the country playing in a backyard battle. It couldn't be more perfect. A jam-packed Palestra. There's the Wildcat and the Explorer. Steve Hanzo waits at center court with a basketball as both teams for a final word with their coaches. The Wildcats will be in the dark uniforms. A deep blue, really. Here comes LaSalle onto the floor with Stan Ledarczyk, Kenny Durrett, Larry Cannon, Roland Taylor, and Bernie Williams. Villanova with Howard Porter, Johnny Jones, Sammy Sims, Fran O'Hanlon, and Frankie Gillen. The handshake at center court. Howard Porter and Ken Durrett. Steve Hanzo with the ball. We're ready for the big one. Here's Al.
Thank you, Charlie. Well, stand by, America. In control, LaSalle. Ledarczyk, Roland Taylor. Deep into the corner, Williams lets it ride. And Porter with his first rebound. So we'll see how they match up individually. Cannon putting pressure on O'Hanlon. Bernie Williams playing Frankie Gillen. Ledarczyk playing Howard Porter. Roland Taylor playing John Jones. So there you see Williams playing the guard and the guard playing the forward, which is one of the switches. A very tight man-to-man defense. Howard Porter, Ledarczyk's on him. Knocked out of bounds by the Explorers.
Once again, Stan Ledarczyk has been asked to take a tremendous challenge, Al, in keeping the other guy's big man off the boards.
They break it loose. Going to be a solo for Taylor. LaSalle 2, Villanova nothing.
An interesting matchup, as you mentioned, Al, is Taylor on Johnny Jones.
Blocking foul against Bernie Williams. And Gillen at the line for one shot. Frankie Gillen, the kid that calls the shots with this ball club. Excellent ball handler. Bishop Newman, Philadelphia, and a product of Philadelphia basketball. If there's such a thing as a typical Philadelphia guard, Frankie Gillen is it. 2-1. Bernie takes the baseline and is caught with a foul. A blocking foul or a charging foul? It's a charging foul. Bernard Williams didn't waste any time, and with 59 seconds gone in this ball game, he has picked up 2 personal fouls.
You saw the ball come through the hoop and LaSalle getting it out quickly. They want to get down, Al, before Villanova can set up in that ball defense. Williams got it down that time, but he was a little too aggressive in going to the basket. Fouling Jones. Defensively, Tom Gola says he likes to play Durrett on the other guy's non-shooting forward, in that he gives him a little more room to drop off and help out underneath. In other words, you might expect Durrett perhaps to take Porter, but Gola doesn't like to use Durrett with that kind of defensive responsibility.
It's the Villanova ball defense against the, as you see, high post Ledarczyk. Durrett with position, good. For 2, as they just move the ball in and then try and shake him loose along the baseline if they can. Frankie Gillen, Cannon's on him. Over Cannon. Short of the mark. Porter rebound. Broken loose by Cannon for Taylor.
Boy, that's a tremendous move with that basketball by Taylor.
No, he couldn't control it. Turnover. And Villanova has the ball. Turnovers 2-1. Villanova.
LaSalle at the outset, Al, trying to set up high-low opportunities using Ledarczyk in a high post as he takes the ball from the guard and looks inside for Durrett at the baseline.
Whistle, foul, Roland Taylor. What Villanova had done was set up a double screen in exchange to take the shot for Jones.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Schaefer Beer as another major event in your Schaefer Circle of Sports. Remember, Schaefer, it's the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
O'Hanlon at the line. Make it 4-3. LaSalle, the home team in the white. Villanova in its dark blue. Well, Howard Porter and Kenny Durrett one-on-one, and that's what happened. Stan Lodarczyk. Johnny Jones got a piece of that one. O'Hanlon finds Sims with position on Durrett. Gillen played by Taylor, or checked by Williams. Durrett loses the rebound. They are just leaping for the rebounds tonight. They're flying for them. Three-man screen way out to Porter on the outside. One-on-one. O'Hanlon feeds the trailer Sims. Good.
Pretty play by Fran O'Hanlon, driving the baseline and pitching back to Sims, who was open.
Which is something we'll watch for next time, as Jack has brought something into his offense for this game. Taylor short of the mark. Porter rebound.
Oh, he wanted that one, didn't he? Howard Porter his head was up over the rim when he grabbed that ball.
He has 4 rebounds now. Villanova leading 5-4 with the ball. Bad transaction between Frankie and John Jones. Again, they set up the 2-1-2 with a high post. Cannon. Porter with another rebound. That's 5 for Porter. Offload Darczyk. You're going to have to realize something. There are more people here tonight than live in Howard Porter's hometown.
Yes, indeed. Lodarczyk is trying to play between Porter and the ball.
There's a foul committed. Sammy Sims at the line. Personal foul on Bernie Williams, number 3.
Well, there is the first danger signal, and it comes very early. We are not yet 4 minutes into the first half, and Williams has his 3rd personal.
So we may see an exchange on assignments. I don't know. 6-4. Although Bernie is playing what we would call the non-shooting guard in Frankie Gillen.
You might expect Tom Gola to go to the bench right here, but he feels this way. When a starter gets 3 personals early, he says, I have Fran Dunphy and I have Szcxesny on the bench. So I'll wait for number 4.
Set up Durrett and a follow shot. No good. Cannon with a follow shot. Another follow shot is good, and I believe Durrett, yes. Tied at 6. So 3 offensive taps. The 3rd one by Durrett goes home. Kenny Durrett with 4 points. Gillen. And a foul. Durrett reaching over John Jones.
Frank Gillen wanted that 4th one on Bernie Williams right there as he took him into the hoop. But Bernie did not commit a foul. Shot of the LaSalle bench. Tom Gola. And to Tom's right is Kurt Fromal, the freshman coach, and Gola's assistant with the varsity.
Villanova leads 7-6. Kind of running a 1-3-1 offense now, and Durrett's the low man. Cannon with position. Williams with a rebound. Taylor with a shot and a foul. On Frankie Gillen, Roland Taylor will get 2 in the act of shooting.
At this juncture, Al, the LaSalle offense is dependent to a great extent on Stan Lodarczyk's judgment as they go to him in the high post. And then he has the decision whether to go to a wingman or look inside for Durrett. Or perhaps turn and take the jumper himself if they fall off him.
Roland connects the hard way as it hits both sides of the rim. We're tied at 7. They're flashing Porter here with interception by Taylor. Throws the layup. Whistle on the play. Foul, Frankie Gillen. 2 on Frankie. 2 on Villanova. 5 on LaSalle. Team fouls.
Stay tuned for the movie of the week, Bird of Paradise, starring Louis Jourdain, Jeff Chandler, and Deborah Paget, immediately following the game tonight at 10:30 in living color on TV 17.
Larry Cannon for 1 shot. Cannon averaging 18-7 a game. Howard Porter with a rebound. 7-7. We played 5 minutes of basketball here at the Palestra. O'Hanlon works with Gillen. Double screen for this guy, Howard Porter. And a foul on Lodarczyk. 2-shot foul, 16 foul, and from this point on, Charlie, with 14:47 to go, Villanova will be shooting the bonus.
Knowing that, or at least, I won't say knowing, but at least guessing, and guessing correctly, that it would be Lodarczyk on Porter. And Kraft, knowing, of course, what a tough job Lodarczyk can do, forcing a big man like Porter away from the basket. He mentioned a couple of new wrinkles. I think he just saw one there, that double screen to get Porter the shot at the side of the key. Lodarczyk fought through the double pick, but could only commit the foul because Howard was already up with the ball and ready to let it go.
Williams, Taylor, Cannon, Lodarczyk. Durrett makes the move on Porter. Fouled by Gillen. Checked by O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon's foul. First one on Fran O'Hanlon. Villanova 3 team fouls. There's Franny, and this is Ken Durrett. I believe in the active shooting, he'll get a pair. Kenny Durrett averaging 19-2 a game. 72% free throw shooter. 9-8 Villanova. Tied up again. Individual pressure in the backcourt by Bernie Williams on Frankie, and Frankie knows Bernie's got 3 fouls on him. Porter plays a post this time. He will take it. A little strong. Lodarczyk rebound. And the beginnings of a fast break 3-on-2. Williams. 11-9. LaSalle. You saw just a little bit of daylight, and they took advantage of it. This team can really move if they get that ball.
Every time Porter goes up for that jump shot, you're going to see 3 of LaSalle's big men go to the boards. Should he miss it, it's going to be a tough Villanova rebound. Porter, however, nearly got his own rebound on that shot.
Of course, the guards will release on that, hoping to get the rebound and start the fast break. Got to gamble a little bit.
That's what will happen. LaSalle will release the guards as the big men crash.
Franny O'Hanlon. And everyone just stood and watched him right down the middle, make it 11-11. Little guys aren't supposed to drive through that big picket. Cannon off the dribble. Porter rebound. Foul. Foul Lodarczyk. 1-1 for Howard Porter.
The Explorers are trying to use the Villanova zone to work in their favor, meaning that it has that ball, the man-to-man principles as it goes to the ball, and as the zone comes to Lodarczyk in the middle, it creates a shot for someone, either on the side or at the baseline.
Porter misses the opportunity, and here's Taylor.
In other words, they're hoping that they play a very aggressive ball zone.
LaSalle moving. Williams deep in the corner. 13-11.
There's something you can't do anything about with his own defense.
No, you've got to give him that deep shot.
Right, that's about a 24, 25-foot shot.
One more step and he's got to buy a ticket. Roland Taylor doing a job on Johnny Jones. Porter knocked away and fouled. It may be Lodarczyk. It is. It's 3. So Lodarczyk with 3 and Williams with 3, and we've still got 12:47 to go to the half. And Tommy Gola concerned. Porter at the line, 1-1.
You can map out defenses for this fella, Alva. One of the things that makes him so tough is that he's always moving. He's going to move. The defensive man moving with him. And, of course, that creates opportunities for the defensive man to be picked off. And then, of course, he gets frustrated and reaches around and commits a foul.
So we're tied again, as we have been on 5 occasions already. Lodarczyk follow shot. 15-13, LaSalle. Remember now, Lodarczyk plays with 3 personal fouls, and he's playing Howard Porter man-to-man. We'll see what the Wildcats do here. Frankie Gillett, tied at 15. 6 ties now. And it's running true to form. Williams. 17-15.
Bernie using his height advantage there, Al, as he Bernie at 6'3", going up over Franny O'Hanlon, who was right with him, but O'Hanlon giving away 3 inches.
Gillett off the drive, feed Sims. The red rebound. So this time, they try the middle, draw him in, and try to hit an open man on the side. Lodarczyk. High-low as they work to Durrett. Blocked by Porter. Rebound by Porter.
Well, they had a great play going for them, only there was one little problem with it. Porter was there. They've moved the ball beautifully.
Give and go to Jonesy. No basket. No basket.
Oh, boy, look at this.
Lodarczyk, number 4.
And now there is genuine concern over on the LaSalle bench, and Ed Szcesny is getting up. Tom Gola is very visibly upset, as Stan Lodarczyk, on whom much of his game plan was predicated, has 4 personal fouls, both offensively and defensively, as they were going to use, here comes Szcesny, they were depending on Lodarczyk to operate out of that high post and hit open men for shots, and of course, you know, his defensive assignment with Porter. So let's see if that assignment now falls to Szcesny or whether they'll make a change.
Of course, Bernie Williams has got 3 on him, so it could be Bernie, who's big enough and has enough speed to keep up with Porter.
I don't think there's going to be any change because they didn't talk to anyone. In other words, they would have had a little conference about changing assignments, but Szcesny just came into the ball game.
Williams. Boom! 19-17. LaSalle by 2. As both teams now, since they were tied at 6, exchanging baskets, and we've been tied 7 times.
Oh, the 26-foot shot by Williams.
Porter dragged the pivot foot. So score 1 for Ed Szcesny in the first go-round with Howard Porter. And now for the first time, the Explorers have a chance to open up a 4-point ball. Roland Taylor in control. Williams will shoot. Bernie Williams, 21-17, and Bernard has 10 points on 5 bombs. And Villanova wants to talk it over. 10:36 remaining in the first half. LaSalle 21, Villanova 17.
All right, so we still have a little under 10 minutes to play in that first half, and I'll ask everybody's initial reaction because we'll talk about the players, but some of it is just a sign of the times and how things have changed. Fran O'Hanlon, what's the first thing you notice?
Well, as you said, just the way it's so much more physical nowadays. It was never not as physical back then, and you had a lot more space to work. I noticed our shorts are a lot shorter, and our socks are a lot higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as much leg. Just as much leg we're showing. It's just in different areas. But 21-17 in 10 minutes, and not a lot of defense being played there. And the difference in rules. I mean, after every foul, you're shooting 1 shot. The first 6 points, I think, we got off 1-shot fouls. So everything was so different.
And Dump, when we see these fouls, Bernie Williams picks up 3. Stan Lodarczyk finally goes to the bench, but he has 4 personal fouls before he has to go to the bench. What was a coach's line of thinking in terms of leaving a guy out there that long?
Well, again, there wasn't a whole lot of sophistication going on in those days. We just kind of played basketball, and I'm sure that Coach Gola said to Stanley, let's not try to pick up that 4th one. I'm sure he said that, let's not try to pick up the 3rd one either. But Luckily, we had Szcxesny to go to at the end as soon as Stanley got into foul trouble. But Chez was a very good basketball player and had a great game in this particular game.
As we'll see, yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Indeed.
And Al, obviously tonight we're really doing this because we're remembering Howard Porter, and this was one of the great games that he would play in the early part of his career. But thus far, we're seeing mostly what he does at the defensive end. And I think Coach Kraft said, I never saw so many block shots in my life. But when you were watching this, what were your impressions of his defense in a highly built game?
Well, he was able to go higher than anyone else. Even if he wasn't higher than anyone else, he ended up higher than anyone else. Had a great wingspan on him. I mean, what was he, Franny, about 6'8"?
6'8".
6'8", but he played 7 feet.
Right.
And
plus, he could get off the ground. I mean,
he could play today, do you think?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
By the way, coaches, I have to ask you a question. Player gets 3 fouls in the first half. Early. You never leave him in the game, do you?
Very, very seldom.
Very seldom do you leave him in the game with 2 fouls. In the
Anymore.
first half, yeah.
That last clip, though, too, Howard didn't have a block there, but he had a change. And Kenny Durrett changed the shot totally because Porter was right there. And then Larry had a nice little follow-up opportunity, too. And if it's against somebody else, he's probably putting that thing right in the basket. But Porter just changed that shot as well.
The one thing I noticed about the game and in the short time that we've seen it, the ball moved.
It did.
No one messing around. Nobody you're on the ball, anything else. Everyone knew where they were supposed to be. And I almost think on every play, everyone got a touch, right?
Well, yeah, that was certainly something that I think we emphasized, the move of the basketball. But once again, we talk about the change in the game. Now, with the goal of defenses is to not allow ball reversal and make it harder. And sometimes you make people dribble a little bit more nowadays because of the defensive pressure.
Fran, let's try something here. I'm going to touch you. That was a foul when you were playing, wasn't it?
Many times it was.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now-
The game is so much more physical today. So much more physical. Well, and the bodies are so much stronger. And guys do beat on each other way more than they used to. And again, the defenses are so different. Our defensive play, as you can see in this game, is not too spectacular.
And you weren't allowed to pound the ball, you carry the ball, or
Please
walk
don't
with the
bring that
basketball.
up. Don't bring that up, please.
All right, wait, and Dump, you're a substitution in this game, but we have yet to see you. But as a guy who did come off the bench, I mean, when were you expecting to get into the game, or did it always change?
It always changed, and there wasn't any set rotations.
No
to
set
it,
rotation.
no. But in this particular game, I knew I wasn't going to play a whole lot early on unless somebody got in foul trouble, and then you'll see later on that Fatty Taylor gets in foul trouble, and I get a chance to
And
get
as
in.
Dump said, there wasn't a lot of sophistication as far as, when the rotations and when people get in. Dump was a terrific basketball player, and probably nowadays Dump, even with as good as those players were, the Dump would be playing 20 minutes a game, 22 minutes a game with that team in the rotation.
Right. All right, let me ask you, because a lot of these names, like we know Howard Porter and we know Ken Durrett, we know your name, we know your name, but Bernie Williams was a guy who I said, I don't remember hearing of Bernie Williams. The guy has 10 points already in this game. You didn't have a three-point line at that point. Many of them probably were from three-point range. Who was the guy, and was he pretty well respected in the Big Five at that time?
Oh, absolutely. And everybody who followed college basketball in Philadelphia knew Bernie Williams.
Okay.
He was a terrific basketball player. Played at DeMatha High School in D.C.
That's all you have to say.
And was a great shooter and a terrific human being. And a couple of years ago passed away, and we miss him greatly.
All right, and again, go ahead, Al.
I was just going to say, I'm missing someone greatly. My partner that night, Charlie Swift,
Yep.
went kind of tragically, and he was good. The one thing I noticed as an announcer, we didn't step on each other's toes at all during the game. No foul. No harm, no foul. I mean, he talked, I talked. It was wonderful. We didn't have somebody yelling in our ears like
Like
people
I
do
do.
today.
I know. All right, speaking of that game, we're going to see more of that momentarily. And again, we thank the Big Five for helping make this possible. Fran O'Hanlon had a significant role in this game as One for the Ages continues. We'll be back with the rest of the first half after these messages.
Durrett at the baseline. And thus far, they have not let Durrett roll that baseline.
America's best-selling small SUV just keeps getting better. The 2008 Ford Escape. 3-liter Durrett V6 up to 28 miles per gallon. Now with a sun and satellite package at no extra charge. Includes a power moonroof, AM/FM stereo, CD player, and MP3 capability. Plus a 12-month subscription to Sirius Radio. Lease the all-wheel drive Ford Escape with sun and satellite for just $265 a month. Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealers.
The K&G 2 Suits for $150 event is on. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 2 selected men's suits for just $150. That's less than the price of one at a department store. K&G Fashion Superstore.
Tuesday night at 7, Chase Utley and the Phillies travel to New York to face the division rival Mets. After the game, don't miss Lone Toyota presents Phillies postgame live. Phillies, Mets, Tuesday night at 7. Nobody does baseball better than Comcast Sportsnet. And HDTV where available.
Anyone around?
Down here.
You, Gus?
Second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania. Nice ride.
Thanks. It's a fat boy.
I know, I've got my eye on one too. With Harley Davidson, the new instant game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. A little scratch and you could win one of 10 Harley Davidson Fat Boy motorcycles or one of 12 top prizes of 50 grand.
Good times.
It'll get your motor running. Keep on scratching.
Winter's over. Who's thinking about gas bills? PGW is. Before you make any plans this summer, be sure that your gas bill is up to date. Customers who are past due on their bill will be scheduled for shutoff. And if you're shut off, rules will make it more difficult, more expensive to restore your service. This doesn't have to happen. If you already received a shutoff notice, call PGW 215-235-1777 or visit a customer service center.
We took that matchup real serious because LaSalle was number 2 in the nation. You know, they weren't eligible for the tournament that year, but they had great, truly outstanding players on their team, and it was a big matchup. In the city of Philadelphia, it was just so hot, you know, and excited about what was going on, especially with that particular game, Villanova-LaSalle at that time.
That was Howard Porter talking about this game. Our thanks to the Villanova Athletic Department for that soundbite. If you just joined us, our current score is LaSalle 21, Villanova 17. Thus far, the big players haven't been a factor offensively, but Howard Porter has been a force on the defensive end, and that theme would continue as we rejoin the game, 10-plus minutes remaining in the first half.
With 10:36 to go till halftime, it is LaSalle by 4, 21-17, and I would assume, Al, that in that timeout, Jack Kraft talked about the wingman in that zone coming over quicker to Bernie Williams and getting a hand in his face because he's shooting those jumpers uncontested, and he can get hot and really tear you up.
Of course, Jack said during the interview, we'll give him that 25, 30-foot shot, but I guess he's changed his mind a little bit.
Well,
Johnny Jones, Taylor got a hand on it.
What the coach means by that is he'll give it to him until he makes 4 or 5 in a row.
Traveling call on Porter.
But you talked about the factors, Al, that could have a say in this game, and you mentioned the fouls, and already personal fouls are a factor.
Foul on O'Hanlon. And Williams at the line. That's Freddie O'Hanlon. Slapped at him.
Sunday at 5 p.m. is the hour for excitement and intrigue on TV 17. Watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E., starring Robert Vaughn as Solo and David McCallum as Ilya in The Arabian Affair.
22-17. Bernie Williams with 11 points. 2 on O'Hanlon and 4 on the Wildcats. A 6-point lead. LaSalle 23-17.
See if they try and work on Bernie Williams. That would be up to Frank Gillen.
John Jones. It's good, and he was fouled by Ken Durrett. 23-19, and Bobby Melchione will come into the ball game, I believe, for Freddie O'Hanlon. This time, Gola. He wanted to speak to Jim Herjack about the foul.
Worst thing that could happen to any one of these kids, from their own standpoint out, would be to foul out of this game. Boy, they want to play in this one.
Well, Darchik's already on the bench with 4 fouls. He picked up with 11:13 on the clock. 9:56 remaining to the half. Jones completes the 3-point play. And LaSalle leads 23-20. Roland Taylor. This is Taylor. To Szcesny, blocked by Porter, rebound Jones.
Oh boy, you're 6'8", and you're 215, and you go up for the, looks like sure two, and you have it snuffed on you.
Jones off the dribble. Szcesny rebound, and they try to break. Outlet pass Durrett. Ches waited just a beat too long. Gillen hit the deck that time, and Frankie's down. Timeout, Frankie Gillen's knee. And time has been called.
Uh-oh. Frankie Gillen has had one knee operation, and the other one has given him trouble from time to time.
He's hurt.
Jake Nevin is out there. They're flexing the right leg, as you see. I didn't see Frank go down. I only saw him when he was on the floor, so I don't know how it happened. Possibly a collision over there.
I think he kind of tripped a little bit. As I saw him, he was stumbling, and I didn't see anyone near him. It's conceivable Frankie just tipped over himself. Let's see now if he can put pressure on it. Looks like he's going to be able to as he's over there with Jake Nevin. That'd be a tough break for the Wildcats if they lost Gillen in a game like this.
It sure would. He's their floor general out there. He runs that offense the way Jack Kraft wants it running. He's the point man in that ball defense. He is the guy given the responsibility of breaking up a fast break should it start down the floor. And he does it better than anybody else that Coach Kraft has. But Frankie's not going to be able to play, I don't believe, for the moment, Al. He's trying to walk it off.
O'Hanlon's back in. Porter gets the tap. O'Hanlon with the ball. Bobby Melchione. Bobby made a couple of key buckets against St. John's Tuesday night. He's played by Bernie Williams, number 12. They set the post for Porter. Porter with a turnaround. A little strong. Jones with a rebound. Taken away by Cannon. 3-on-2. Here they go. Broken up by Bob Melchione.
Good play by Melchione. He anticipated Cannon's pass to the left side and stuck a hand up.
Szcesny way outside to Taylor. That's Durrett. Bernie Williams, who's on fire tonight. 8:37 to the half, 23-20 LaSalle. Cannon, 20-footer. Short of the mark, Jones rebound. John Jones has 4 rebounds. Howard Porter has 9. Larry Cannon 3 for the Explorers. They're looking for Porter in the middle, played by Szcesny. Now Porter, of course, with an advantage here over Ches. With more mobility, O'Hanlon. Followed by Sims. Rebound Durrett. That's Kenny's 3rd rebound. Cannon to what was an open man, Bernie Williams, but again, the Wildcats' Franny O'Hanlon stuck his nose in there and knocked it out of bounds. Relatively low-scoring ball game as we anticipated. 2 Giants fighting it out underneath there. Durrett played by Porter. Taylor knocked out of bounds by Sims. That's Steve Hansel with the ball. They got a 2-1-2 with Szcesny, the middleman, comes out of there now for Taylor. Knocked out of bounds by LaSalle. Bobby Melchione. They're looking for Howard. Ches got a hand in there.
Both defenses very aware of what the other club wants to do most, Al. They know what Villanova wants to do with Porter. And on the other end of the floor, the Villanova zone, particularly that back line, is very aware. There's O'Hanlon driving and scoring. They're very aware of what they want to do with Durrett at the baseline. And thus far, they have not let Durrett roam that baseline.
Twice tonight, Franny O'Hanlon has been able to drive for the basket. Roland Taylor. He had to feed off. I tell you, that Porter stands there like a tall tree.
The Villanova zone will let you think you have a clear path to the basket, but then all of a sudden there are 3 guys in the way.
You check the ball and the number of blue shirts around there. Again, Villanova gets a hand on it. And you can see LaSalle a little bit frustrated, trying to fight its way through that maze. Bernie Williams. Not this time. Long rebound, Roland Taylor for Jones. 24-23, Villanova. John Jones with 9.
That last offensive sequence, Al, was what Villanova wants to force here. They would like to make LaSalle work hard to attack their zone. They don't feel that that's LaSalle's strength, rather than get the running game going. In other words, that tempo is what Jack Kraft would like to see continue.
Cannon knocked it out of bounds. Appeals to Mike DiTomaso. Larry Cannon, by the way, is 0 for 8 from the field. He has yet to score. 6 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock. Porter. 26-23. Villanova. Porter with 6. That time Howard had a little breathing room. Bernie's got just enough daylight to fire. Porter got the rebound.
Boy, did he get the rebound.
He's got 10 of them now. Momentum to the Cats. Jones with a fake. Durrett rebound. Taylor, good move by Roland. And a foul call as he's hacked by Sam Sims. On the drive, a one-shot foul.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Schaefer Beer, as another major event in your Schaefer Circle of Sports. Remember, Schaefer, it's the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
9 straight points by the Villanova Wildcats have given them a 26-23 lead. That changes with Taylor's single. LaSalle down by 2 or Villanova up by 2, depending on who you like. Porter. Rebound. Actually, that was broken loose by Roland Taylor for Larry Cannon. Finds Ches all alone, and Ches couldn't handle the action. Off number 23 of the Wildcats.
Szcesny's disappointed because Cannon hit him with a beautiful pass underneath, and he should have had an easy basket, but just bobbled it and not let the defense get there.
They overplay Ches, so he takes the shot, and it's good. We're tied up.
So he gets even anyhow.
John Jones was overplaying Szcesny, kind of daring him to take the middle, figuring Howard's back there somewhere. Bobby Melchione. Jones in the corner. He likes to shoot from there. Porter with a rebound. Porter with a shot. Jones with a rebound. Jones with a basket. Foul on LaSalle. Cannon or Taylor? Larry Cannon.
Well, that was the battle of the Giants right there, Al, because all the big men were under there scrapping for that one. Szcesny, Porter, Sims, Durrett, Cannon. They were all there. And Johnny Jones. And especially Johnny Jones.
Larry Cannon's first. Villanova by 3. 29-26, 4:40 to go. Jones with 12. Bernie Williams with 12. Here he is. Good feed to Szcesny, all alone. So Bernie this time, instead of taking it, sees Ches open underneath. And it's 29-28.
Well, that will give Villanova something to think about, Al. Twice they have dropped off Szcesny, and twice he has hit the shot.
O'Hanlon. Long rebound, Bernie Williams. To Cannon. Only twice tonight has that explosive fast break been able to go. One time for the bucket, one time a block. Williams. Taylor broke it loose. Szcesny has control. Williams. Rebound Sims. Bernie's taken a dozen shots tonight. Back door to Jones, but Taylor's there. Boy, that Roland Taylor plays D, doesn't he, Charlie?
Very quick. He's tough to lose.
Howard Porter. Williams with a rebound. You see, first looks up, sees no one there, and decides to bring it up. This is where they want to start that break if they can with the outlet pass. Cannon, who was frustrated tonight. That's it. LaSalle 30-29 as Larry Cannon scores his first two. 2:58 to the half. See Porter there, one-on-one Szcesny. They work Porter behind a screen. He's got it. O'Hanlon. 31-30. Franny O'Hanlon with 7 points. And the lead changes with each basket. And stand by, America. There's a little disagreement here between John Jones and Larry Cannon, but all is well now. Emotions are, as you would expect, a little bit high here between the individuals, between the schools. And they're all here tonight. Cannon, Taylor. Rebound, Porter. Oh, he's got 12 rebounds. And our angle might be just a little bit too far off for me to see that, but I swear his shoulders are up on the rim now.
I think I saw his head even with the rim as he took one rebound.
Jones off the drive, travels.
And there's a great leaper under there contesting him too, and Durrett.
Here's Durrett over Jones. Sims fronts and Melchione grabs the loose ball. The Cats with the ball by 1, 31-30. Jones. Durrett rebound. Kenny's got 5 now, and the break goes with Williams. Makes his fake, studies it, and makes it.
That's what LaSalle wants to do. Clear it quickly, get it down for a good opportunity shot before that zone has a chance to set up.
32-31 LaSalle, a minute 35 to go. Bernie with 14. O'Hanlon. Durrett. Pass break, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and Larry Cannon couldn't find the handle. Roland Taylor with possession.
Great recovery by Cannon, who lost the handle on the ball. But as he recovered the ball, looked out of the side of his eye and saw Taylor underneath and whipped him the ball.
We'll be back in a moment. 34-31 LaSalle.
All right, so it is a 3-point game now, and back and forth it goes. Fran O'Hanlon, I'll start with you because we saw quite a bit of action of you on the court there, taking it to the hole. Offensively, what did you guys run back then? I mean, you drove baseline, you got down the middle of the paint.
There was a lot of sets in those days. We didn't have the passing game. Everything was sets or fast break. What I noticed in this game is there was a lot of air balls. I think we invented the air ball in this game, and it's a good thing the crowd didn't know about air balls at that point.
That was a 3-ball there, though, Rainbow.
Yeah. Hey, I was good.
Fred, I'm just curious for both of you. What was the last time you watched yourself play as a college guy? I mean, is this a once?
I think, again, we talked about this earlier. Somebody gave me this film. It's got to be 15 years ago now, and then I made him a copy, and I watched it in my basement with Larry Cannon, who didn't have a particularly great game.
Not particularly.
No.
We've seen one field goal thus
far. But he
far.
played better in the second half, as we talked about. But it's not easy to watch yourself.
I bet.
No, it's not. And basketball has changed so much, and I don't. Watching it on film, it's not the same as having lived it. You know, it seemed much harder at that point, and much more pressure. You're watching this, the defense that we preach nowadays is so much more pressure. The ball moves much more fluidly. And it's just such a different game right now.
For people who are not my age, I would like to tell you that in those days, as they call them, there was no shot clock.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And no three-point line.
Yes.
And apparently no fouling either.
Early there was. We had
but I
two
will
guys
tell
in
you
foul
this. I have a sneaking suspicion that the second half is going to be much more exciting than the first half was.
I agree with you.
You agree?
So stay around.
Yeah,
Stick around,
stick around,
please.
folks.
Stick around. And I'm hoping the outcome is a little different from the last time I watched this, because we didn't win the last time.
Well, the one thing I just want to mention is I spent 30 years, I think, looking for a complete game, having done dozens and hundreds of them, I guess, over a period of time, and I couldn't find one. 17 had none left, and the schools had none left. And when you called a couple of days ago and said we have this game, I could not believe it.
We're doing the best for you right now.
Oh,
We're bringing it for you.
hey, come on. I know what's coming.
Frank Gillen, who, I'm sorry, that was one of the other things I noticed, because the way guys' knees looked.
Right.
Clearly this guy had some knee injuries or problems, because he goes down hard and he's got double braces.
And as Dump said, you know, basketball wasn't as sophisticated then, and also medicine wasn't as sophisticated, and some of the things that he had wrong with him, maybe were correctable, you know, nowadays. But I think when you watch this, you know, you see Howard Porter had a boatload of rebounds and was so dominant as far as inside blocking shots and controlling the paint.
No replays either, by the way. Did you notice that?
That's true. That was another thing I was going to ask you, because the Gillen one would have been, nobody saw what happened.
No, but we had 2 cameras, both up on top, and that was the extent of it. And we didn't have any sound in the stands. We figured that whatever sound we had in the Palestra, wherever you are, it's noisy anyway. But in watching it now, I feel that there was so much more. You couldn't hear yourself when you were broadcasting. Right. It may sound like we were just kind of conversing.
But there was more energy
but
that's
there was an
coming across.
Enormous amount.
Oh,
right.
Place was packed.
It was packed, and there was so much noise coming out. You couldn't hear yourself at times in the Palestra. You couldn't hear yourself in the huddles, and it doesn't come across here.
And now, because there were only 2 cameras, you're not getting the crowd shots that people have become accustomed to seeing when you see games today. I know you mentioned this, the play of Howard Porter, and we're seeing him rebound and block shots. And at one point, you actually used the phrase, I think his shoulders are above the rim. But did he keep doing things that, one, you knew he was capable of, and 2, you know, still fascinating for you to watch?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this is, you know, I haven't seen this. These guys have seen it before.
When you see like old clips of like a Bob Cousy, you see him dribble with his right hand, and people will look nowadays and say, well, he doesn't look like he could handle the ball, but he was innovative at that time. You look at Howard Porter, what he does as a 6'8", you know, perimeter player, being able to shoot the basketball, be as dominant as he was inside, as agile as he was, how he ran the floor. That's something that wasn't as prevalent.
Yeah, it wasn't the norm.
Yeah, it wasn't the norm.
As 2 coaches,
yes,
we would love to have Howard Porter on our team.
I bet you would. And we haven't really seen what he's capable of scoring-wise yet. Yeah. I think we'll see more of that in the second half. Let me ask real quick about Ed Szcesny, because I said this guy seems like he was for sure your 6th man, and played a significant role in this game. What was he for your team?
He was a terrific player, Ches. He really knew how to play. He had good skills, and he would have started on many teams. We just had Kenny Durrett. And Stanley the Darchick, I always say this about Stanley, he was Bobby Jones before there was Bobby Jones. He was a great defensive forward, and he played terrific basketball. He actually, I'll bet he could have made he got drafted by the Bucks, as I recall. Could have made that team if he had wanted to do it. He just didn't want to go away and do all the
what was necessary.
And Dump would have started on most any team also.
We're still waiting to see.
Well, I know.
Coming.
That's the amazing part. He would have started on any team in the Big Five, just about, or anywhere.
Yeah, but if he went to the NBA, he'd have made big money, like $5,000 or $6,000 a year.
Stanley, absolutely.
You think I'm joking, huh?
Well, how about in those days, when you played in the NBA or played any professional baseball or football, you had a summer job.
Of course. You had an off-season job. You had to, yeah. And it's different today, isn't it?
It's another sign of the times, Al. That's it. Stand by America.
Yes.
Was that saying
Hello
that
there.
correct? Hello there. All right, we return to the action. Our score at this point is LaSalle 34, Villanova 31. LaSalle has scored the last 2 baskets of the game. Out of this timeout, it will be Villanova basketball, 1:16 remaining before intermission.
LaSalle is up by 3 at 34-31 with 1:16 remaining in the half.
See, Jimmy McIntosh is in the game now, so the front line will be McIntosh, Porter, and Jones. The backcourt of Melchione and Gillen, or Melchione and O'Hanlon, as Frankie Gillen still sits on the bench with that bad leg.
The last couple of missed Villanova shots resulted in LaSalle rebounds and fast breaks, and that's what Jack Kraft would like to prevent. So McIntosh in there.
Trying to set up a backdoor for Johnny Jones, but Roland Taylor's really moving on him. Now Roland gets a piece of the ball and loses it. Taylor's not only playing Jones nose-to-nose and toe-to-toe, but he's getting his hands on the ball. So the decision here to put little Roland Taylor on Big John Jones is paying off. A guard plays the forward. Cannon plays also the guard. McIntosh guilty of offensive goaltending, and the ball didn't go in anyway, but they lose possession.
Yeah, he was up over the rim as the ball came to the rim.
So the Explorers with a chance to build on a 3-point lead with 33 seconds remaining to the half. 2-1-2 with Szcesny the middleman. 20 seconds. Will they wait for the last shot? Yes, they will. Giving no indication of letting it go. 13, 12, 11, the clock rolls as they check it.
Would they be satisfied with the lead? But there's a steal.
Steal, Melchione. At the buzzer. At the end of the first half, the score. LaSalle 34, Villanova 33.
So a 1-point game at the break, and I'll start with you, Fran O'Hanlon, because you were part of the last bucket to make it a 1-point game there. But do you remember, and I'm not saying specifically being in that halftime, but what halftime was like during those Big Five Classics?
I'm not sure if there were, we had talked about that it's not as sophisticated. We didn't talk too much about adjustments. It's more who was hurting us at that time and make sure that we're aware. I don't know whether we had to talk about Bernie Williams. He had the hot hand at that point. And LaSalle's matchups at that time, I think I remember talking about Fatty Taylor guarded Johnny Jones, which was unusual because Johnny Jones was a forward,
right.
6'5" or so, and Fatty was about 5'11". So we probably talked about trying to take advantage of that. But for the most part, we probably felt we were in pretty good shape.
And Dump, for you, because wasn't his goal his first year of coaching?
It was.
Right. So what was that atmosphere like? Because many people say he did an unbelievable coaching job. I'm not talking just about this game, but that year.
Well, he did. And it was interesting. He followed Jim Harding, who was fundamentally, that's what we worked on every single day for 3 and 4 hours a day. And it was really unbelievable how he broke the game down. So it was a perfect combination of having had Jim Harding one year and having Tom Gola the next. He just let us play.
The shackles were off.
And these guys were great players. Larry Cannon was a great player. Fatty Taylor was great. Bernie Williams, Kenny Durrett, Stan Ladarchuk, really good basketball players who knew what they were doing out there. And Tom Gola just let the team play.
But it was one of the darker moments for LaSalle. They had, well, if I can say this, maybe the best team the school ever had since I had come in the mid-'60s. And they couldn't go to the NCAA tournament. And the reason for that was because I guess the coach I don't know the specifics, but the coach was suspended or something with the NCAA. Is that what happened?
Well, what happened was we had a guy by the name of Franny Scott who was in that year. He would have been a senior in this particular year. Decided he just didn't want to play basketball anymore. And we all thought about that, to be honest with you. Jim was that hard on every one of us. And Franny walked away, and he took the scholarship away. And as it came to be, the NCAA, Franny made it known that he no longer had a scholarship, which he probably should have done. And the NCAA came in and investigated, and then there were some other issues that were out there. And they said, in today's world, we would have had a slap on the wrist and been able to play. In those days, we were on probation for 2 years.
LaSalle, was one of the better teams in the country. I mean, you would love to have seen that team have an opportunity in the tournament at that time. I think that they would give UCLA certainly a battle.
What were the final season records before the tournament for you guys?
Well, I think they were 22-1 or 23-1.
23-1 we were.
Yep, 23-1.
And we only had 3 losses, I believe, going into the NCAA. We were still ranked in the top 10. We lost to Davidson in the first round, Lefty Dressel, down in North Carolina. Home court advantage. I don't know how how we got to play Davidson down there in North Carolina, but that was how it worked out.
I only have one other question. Did Jack Kraft say much at halftime?
I don't think so, Al.
Well, I will tell you this. I had a pregame show that lasted 10 minutes. And I was at the Villanova field. I was doing the game. I believe it was against St. John's or someone. And I happened to say to Jack, what about Calvin Murphy? 9.5 minutes later, I said, well, that's it. We'll be right back with the game in just a moment.
All right, by all accords, the second half is more interesting, or picks up a little bit, if you will. So without further ado, we'll be bringing you that second half. Again, we thank the Big Five for helping us make this one for the ages happen. Second half coming up.
Cannon on Jones. Jones to the hoop. Blocked by Durrett. Williams hits Taylor. Blocked by Porter. Retrieved by Durrett. Durrett blocked by Porter again. Jones with a rebound. Oh, boy, that is...
Charlie, I haven't seen college basketball like this ever.
America's #1 sports car just keeps getting better. Introducing the limited edition Ford Mustang with a 5-speed automatic, 17-inch wheels, fog lamps, a rear spoiler, leather interior, and a Shaker 500 stereo with MP3 jack. Hurry, they'll go fast, because only 300 are available. Lease the limited edition Ford Mustang today for $279 a month. Only at your quality.
I don't come any better than him. He's just a nice, easygoing, wonderful guy.
I didn't know Howard Porter, the basketball player. What I did know is Howard Porter, the husband, Howard Porter, the man, Howard Porter, the friend, and he's first team. He's an All-American when it comes to that.
We welcome you back to Comcast Sportsnet's special presentation in conjunction with the help and support of the Philadelphia Big Five of this classic Big Five game. The date, February 8th, 1969, the 17-1 LaSalle Explorers, led by Kenny Durrett, taking on the 16-2 Villanova Wildcats, led by the one and only Howard Porter. Currently, our score is LaSalle 34, Villanova 33. Thus far, Porter and Durrett have done most of their damage on the glass, but both players would make their presence felt offensively in the second half. For more action, we return to the call of Charlie Swift and Big Al Meltzer.
It's Ken Durrett and Howard Porter for the second half jump.
Okay, Jimmy McIntosh stays in, and Frankie Gillen returns to the starting lineup. McIntosh off the tap play. This is John Jones with daylight. Back outside as they set it up. O'Hanlon. Rebound Jones. Blocked by Durrett. Roland Taylor with the ball.
Great defensive play there by Ken Durrett.
So Durrett at one side and number 55, Howard Porter at the other. Blocking shot. Porter got a hand on it, but Taylor retrieves. Again, they set up with Szcesny, the high post. (36-33) at Szcesny with 6 points. Porter from way outside. McIntosh, too strong. Porter with a rebound. It does not go in the basket, and this is Cannon. Leading the break, taking the shot. And Roland Taylor, good hands. Bernie Williams. Larry Cannon is fouled by McIntosh.
Cannon went as high as he can go to get that rebound.
Here's Larry, who has had one try at the line tonight. He's not connected. He only has 2 points, as we mentioned. 36-33. We played 1:15 seconds. First game, tremendous win for Penn over Columbia, 91-81. Villanova has the ball and trailing by 3. Bernie Williams plays Frankie Gillen. Taylor plays John Jones, who's doing a heck of a job, but John got position that time. He made the shot and he was fouled.
That's exactly right. He had the inside position on Taylor, had a leg inside of him, going to the hoop, and Taylor had a choice of either letting him have the uncontested basket or fouling him, and he fouled him. So a possible three-point play. Join us tomorrow night at 7 for Now with Jack McKinney, live and in color on TV 17. Guests will discuss motivation of hijackers, and also present will be Raymond, a psychic entertainer.
It's the 9th tie of the game at 36. That was the second foul on Roland Taylor, the first team foul on the Explorers. Durrett. Blocked by Porter.
He went way up to get that one.
Tommy Gola stood up with that one. He figures maybe a little goaltending. Gillen tries to pick and roll it. Comes back to him. He's open. And so Villanova takes the lead, 38-36. Taylor. Follow shot, Durrett, and Durrett might have been pushing off as he went up, and he was, and it's his foul. 3 on Kenny Durrett as he used the arm to climb up to get the board. And Howard Porter will come to the line for one shot. Porter had 14 rebounds in the first half. He has one more. Durrett with his 8th rebound. Villanova by 2. Cannon to Szcesny. Taylor alone. Blocked by Porter. O'Hanlon. Jones. Taylor with a rebound. And isn't Roland Taylor playing some kind of basketball game tonight?
He is. He's holding John Jones in check.
Bernie Williams. A little bit too strong. Give Porter a rebound. Give Porter about 5 block shots. Give Howard Porter 16 rebounds.
The one problem Porter is having, Al, his shooting touches deserted him somewhat. He's missing shots that he normally makes.
Off the missed one. Taylor tries to start the break with Cannon. Good. We're tied at 38. They set Porter up behind the screen.
Well, you know he won't keep missing.
Howard with his second basket. He has 8 points. Villanova by 2. Porter got a hand on it, and a foul as Taylor might have grabbed John Jones, and that's what happened. So that's 3 on Roland Taylor. On the Explorers, their second foul, and Tommy Gola wants to talk to his ball club with 16-16 remaining in the game. Villanova 40, LaSalle 38.
And it is still very much up for grabs. Villanova leading by 2 at 40-38. John Jones will come to the line. Howard Porter hit his last jump shot as they picked for him and got him open. He's had to work very hard for his shots, and they haven't been uncontested. They, of course, would like to see some more of that, Al, getting him loose, or at least enough room where he can get that jumper away.
He's 2 for 9. John Jones has 15 points. Cannon blocked by Jones. On the line, it's LaSalle ball.
But on defense, he has been something.
Oh, he's awesome. That's the only word you can use.
Yes, he's aware of what they want to do off that post play, and he's been reaching around and breaking it up.
He's got 2 more years of college basketball before he becomes the next Bill Russell. He might grow another inch. Bad transaction. And one of the few turnovers. LaSalle has committed 7 in the game, 2 in this half. Villanova guilty of 9 turnovers in the first 20 minutes.
I think Tom Gola, Al, pardon me, wants his team to go back to the weave offense and get out of that post. Because Villanova has found a way to counter it.
Jimmy McIntosh did the unexpected. He went to the hoop. And the Cats by 4. Jimmy ordinarily in there to feed, get the boards. Cannon, Durrett, no doubt about it. 42-40. The troops arrive, but too late, as Porter can only wave at the air. O'Hanlon guarded by Williams, and Bernie's bigger than Franny, of course. Jones has size advantage a little bit over Cannon. He can't get through, so Gillen's going to work on Taylor, which is not an easy assignment. There's Frankie Gillen's shot. The follow shot by Mack is no good. And Cannon, lead pass, Williams. O'Hanlon, Cannon, good, and a foul.
Oh boy, what a play. You can't describe that one. There was just 3 great plays in the space of about a second and a half. Tomorrow's game, or rather tonight's game, and possibly the next one, will be brought to you in part by Schaefer Beer as another major event in your Schaefer Circle of Sports. Remember, Schaefer, it's the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Jones with his first foul, Villanova with its second team foul, and Larry Cannon with an attempt at a three-point play can break the tie. It's 42 and 14:34 on the clock. So LaSalle, down by 4, has connected.
And with the foul situation, what it is, we have a change in the matchup, Sal. Roland Taylor's now taking Frankie Gillen. Larry Cannon has John Jones. There they are right there. Cannon on Jones. Jones to the hoop. Blocked by Durrett.
Williams hits Taylor. Blocked by Porter. Retrieved by Durrett. Durrett blocked by Porter again. Jones with a rebound.
Oh, boy, that is...
Charlie, I haven't seen college basketball like this ever.
We got 2 of the greatest snuffers in college basketball playing right here in this city, and there's one of them.
Porter over the backboard.
But what he hasn't done well in this game is shoot.
This is Bernie Williams. Szcesny's alone under if they can see him, but they can't. Williams. 45-42. Bernie with 16. And now 7 straight points for the Explorers. They set up Jones. Loose ball. Cannon. Taylor. And a foul on O'Hanlon. And the Explorers across the way. Going wide. That's Kurt Fromel with Tommy Golden. It's a 5-point advantage. They can build on it.
Villanova, for the moment, Al, has drawn the cold hand. They are not hitting their shots. LaSalle is rebounding, breaking a ball loose, and they are running the way they can run.
All right, so the action's certainly picking up. Al, I got to tell you a few things, though. One, I love that's a bad transaction. I think we should use that more often.
A lot in education, you know.
That's a great line for a
Yeah,
turnover.
sure.
And snuffers, 2 of the great snuffers in the game.
I haven't heard that one in a long time, but I've heard it in other, you know,
other
contexts.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Dump, we were kind of mentioning how Larry Cannon had such a poor first half, but Guy clearly starts to show what you all were telling me is the kind of player he was in the Big Five during the day. Kind of picked it up a little bit.
He had a very good second half, as evidenced by that jumper there and a couple other plays that he made. He was a great passer as well.
I think the coach threatened to put Dunphy in.
That's exactly right. And Larry had a terrific pro career for a number of years.
This is a great
sick.
one, by the way. We should have given an assist to Fran O'Hanlon.
You didn't have to replay that one.
Yeah, really. I mean, I would tell my own guys, don't throw it back underneath your own basket. But hey, I don't always do what I tell people to do.
What in terms of the defense, because we did see Durrett blocking and Howard Porter block shots, actually in consecutive plays down the floor. What was it like in the way guys block shots back then, and how many were there guys who were like these two, who had the athleticism to get up there and block shots?
They were 2 of the better ones. Porter was probably a better shot blocker than Kenny was. I would say that Kenny was more of a complete player than Howard was. Kenny knew how to put the ball on the ground and make plays, and but certainly Porter was probably a better shot blocker. Obviously, Kenny did a good job on that particular play too, and kept it in bounds as well. And Porter did the same thing. They didn't knock it into row 7 right there, and again kept it in play. And
that's the thing that you weren't used to playing against guys like Porter or Durrett. You know, growing up, you didn't have them always in your backyard.
Right.
So you get into a game like this, and all of a sudden shots that you think were wide open, they
Aren't.
weren't wide open
Right.
in a game like this. And I mean, Howard in this game, it seemed like he blocked every shot that didn't get to the rim. He was blocking, you know, or causing air ball.
But here's another piece to this too: is you didn't have film to watch, so that you would say,
How
don't
you could
shoot. You have to,
right.
you have to loft it a little bit higher. He's going to be right around the basket in this situation. You didn't study the game like you study it today.
Al, we hear you say at one point like you were seeing the best you ever saw.
Well, I guess I got caught up in the moment.
Well, no, it could have been at that point.
But I mean, I saw
Probably
plays that night, and they were not scoring plays for the most part. They were defensive plays, and I would watch them when I was doing Sixer games in the NBA. You know, but you didn't see that in college. No, not like that. They were intimidating, and the one stat that was never kept, and Lord knows they'd have led the country one way or the other, were the shots that couldn't be taken because of their defense.
Right.
And they, like you will both attest to the other's ability, there were places you just didn't dare go because you knew darn well he was going to block the shot.
And I'll ask each of you, because you were teammates of whether it was Durrett or Porter. Were you nowadays we say, well, you know, they run all their offense through that guy. I'm not getting the sense that's what happened back then, even though most would say, you know, there were great players on both teams, but these were the guys. They were young, yes, they're sophomores, but did you run stuff through them?
No, I don't. For us, I don't remember any specific plays. We had plays for them, but it wasn't everything's going to go through Howard. And we also, as I said before, we had a senior who was Johnny Jones, who was almost like an All-American, and so one was on one side, Howard was on the other side, but we didn't talk too much about just going through a certain player.
Right.
Kenny was, again, a complete basketball player, and I will tell you that those other guys who played with him, even those guys that were seniors when he was a sophomore, revered him.
They did.
Revered him, and because of his ability and because of his personality. There's a picture that I have, as a matter of fact, I don't have it anymore because I gave it to Fatty Taylor when he got inducted into the Big Five Hall of Fame. But it's a 10-year anniversary of us playing Temple at the Palestra, and the place was packed. I'm sure it was a very good game the next game, but we played an alumni game, and everybody came back. And there's a picture, and Kenny's walking out to the middle of the floor, and the rest of us are all out there clapping and cheering like crazy, just because you revered this guy.
Wow.
The ability that he had, but also his goodness as a human being was great.
Again, we thank the Big Five for helping us make this possible tonight. Still to come, things get a little testy in the game between two heavyweights. We'll show you how the Wildcats respond to LaSalle's surge and take you to the final buzzer as our special One for the Ages returns.
Powerball, always a big jackpot. In fact, the jackpot is now
69. At the moment, our score is 47-42 LaSalle. When Nova reached its 42nd point of the night, the Cats led by 4. It would be their largest lead of the game. But as we left you, the Explorers came roaring back, breaking off a 9-0 run to regain the lead at the current score of 47-42. The 5-point margin is the widest for either team. As we return to action, LaSalle is at the free throw line.
They don't need much time to get the fast break going. Not at all. Just one step. And Roland Taylor at the line. 47, 42, 48, 42. Biggest lead of the night right here. 6 points. 10 straight points now for the LaSalle Explorers. And timeout Villanova.
It is LaSalle by 6 as the Explorers have clicked off 10 straight points. Due, as we mentioned, to Villanova drawing a cold hand. LaSalle getting the defensive board and getting the running game going, and they lead it here by 6 with still plenty of time, 13:05 remaining.
Bernie Williams on Franny O'Hanlon. Cannon Jason Jones all over the gym. O'Hanlon. 48-44, 8 points O'Hanlon, foul Szcesny. Howard Porter at the line. Fourth team foul. Ed Szcesny's first. Remember now, Ed had to come in very early in the first half as Stan Lodarczyk picked up 4 fouls. As a matter of fact, 11:13 remaining in the first half when Lodarczyk picked up his 4th. And now LaSalle with the ball, leading by 3, 48-45. Durrett plays a post. Try to set him up. Taylor got a hand on it. Loose ball. Durrett. They better call a jump here pretty soon or else. Hold it now, gang.
Oh, boy.
Ed Szcesny and Howard Porter, and I think there was, you know what possibly happened? They didn't hear the whistle, and I'm sure there must have been a whistle down there somewhere.
Shows you how much they want that basketball. They just want it badly.
That was what I would call a slow whistle. Bernie Williams. Time 12:28. Williams will take it. McIntosh to Gillen, and a foul. A foul on the Explorers, Roland Taylor.
Oh, boy.
Number 4 on Roland Taylor. McIntosh at the line will get 1.
They took Roland off John Jones to save him a little bit, hoping that he would not get that 4th, putting him on Gillen. But he got involved in that rebounding scrap under there and gave McIntosh a shove.
Mac an underhand free throw shooter. 48-46. LaSalle by 2. And with 5 team fouls. Cannon to the trailer, Durrett. No good. And a foul on the play on Porter. He'll get 2 shots. 4 team fouls. Howard Porter's first foul of the game.
That's another amazing facet of his game, Al. He is a great defender. And yet, like some of the great defenders in the game, he manages to do it without fouling for the most part. And now a change. Fran Dunphy, number 14, will come in as Roland Taylor sits down with 4 personals.
So that's the second substitution of the game for LaSalle. The Cats have made 1 as they took Sims out for McIntosh. Lodarczyk gave way to Szcesny, and here in the backcourt, Dunphy comes in for Roland Taylor. And Kenny Durrett, perfect at the line, makes it 50-46, and Durrett hits double figures with those 2 with 10 points.
Dunphy is going to pick up Taylor's assignment, Frank Gillen.
Trying to set some screens against that individual good tight man-to-man switching defense. There's a double screen for John Jones. Tries the back door and lost control of the ball. Dunphy outside, number 14 with Larry Cannon. It's good, 52-46. And again, the biggest lead of the night, 6 points.
I was about to say that Dunphy is more of a scoring threat than Roland Taylor, and he let fly with that one. Franny is a good outside shooter. In fact, Tom Gola says he may be the best shot on the team. Best pure shooter on the ball club.
Back screens for O'Hanlon on the drive all alone.
Well, you called it a great pick set high by McIntosh. Little O'Hanlon picked his man off.
52-48, Little Franny's got 11. Here he is. Long rebound, O'Hanlon. So Dunphy's 1 for 2. O'Hanlon. He had an idea to go all the way in. They're just trying to screen inside. They're trying to get Jones or Porter loose along the baseline if they can. Jones particularly, where he's very effective. And as Gillen made his way in, a foul called on Dunphy, which means 16 fouls, and with 10:45 to go, again, Villanova will have the advantage with almost half of the half to go and be shooting a bonus.
Tune in next Tuesday night at 7:45 for 76ers basketball against Cincinnati at Cleveland here on TV 17. Sports is our bag.
52-49. Lodarczyk will come in. Szcesny will come out. Remember, Stan plays with 4. There he is.
Ed Szcesny did an excellent job in partially filling Lodarczyk's role in the high post, and then when they got out of the use of it. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Dunphy played by O'Hanlon on that side of this ball defense. Double post, by the way. Low darts again, Durrett. Stanley takes it. Durrett gets it and makes it. 54-49, Durrett with 12. LaSalle by 5. Jones isolated on Cannon. Saved by Dunphy. Lodarczyk tries to get it to Durrett. Rebound McIntosh. Stanley had the shot and didn't take it. And there's a momentary timeout here. I think O'Hanlon might have taken a shot here. And Steve Hanzo just wants to make sure he's all right.
But here in the second half, they're doing a better job of boxing Porter out. And they are getting clean rebounds and getting them down the floor for good shots.
Porter isolated. Over Lodarczyk. Follow shot is good by McIntosh. No basket. No basket. Touched while the ball was on the rim. Mike DiTomaso indicates goaltending. We have 3 officials working this game as they work all the Big 5 games. DiTomaso said goaltending. Hernjack and Steve Hanzo,
they both called it the same way.
Have indicated that's the call.
Yes, they did. They both gave the same indication that it was touched while on the rim. And that's what it appeared to be from here. Although we are much further away than they are.
59-51, 7 minutes left in the game. LaSalle with the ball and the lead. Lodarczyk high-low with Williams. Blocked by McIntosh.
I don't remember a Big 5 game, and this one still has almost 7 minutes to play. Or for that matter, any basketball game recently now where we've seen so many block shots.
Oh, it's been amazing defense, both sides of the floor. Lodarczyk with position. Durrett and Porter wins the battle. And the Cats with the ball, trailing by 8. 6.5 minutes left in the game. They get it to Porter. Again, over Lodarczyk. And remember, Stan plays with 4. 59-53. Porter with 11. Dunphy and Cannon. Durrett. McIntosh rebound.
One of the few mistakes Ken Durrett made tonight. He kind of forced that one. Really was off balance when he put it up there.
But he was conscious of Porter being around. Porter with position, and that's it, I believe, for Lodarczyk. Right. That's
yes.
his 5th. He's out of the game.
Well, they played to Porter with the Stanley carrying the 4 personals, and it had to cost him sooner or later, although he just worked as hard as he could while he was in there.
It's 1-1 now, by the way.
Sunday at 5 p.m. is the hour for excitement and intrigue on TV 17. Watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E., starring Robert Vaughn as Solo and David McCallum as Ilya in The Arabian Affair.
This had Szcesny coming into the game, so Stanley's through for the night. And Howard Porter at the line, 1-1. Howard has 11. (59-54), LaSalle with 5:47 remaining. (59-55).
And ordinarily that would not be the guy they'd want to put on the line. He's about a 77% foul shooter.
Szcesny looking for help. Gamble by Gillen, doesn't work. Cannon open. Long rebound to Gillen. Bobby Melchione with Frankie Gillen. Frankie hits Melchione, and his shot is short. And Dunphy comes up with a loose ball. Coming up to 5 minutes to play. LaSalle by 4. They work to Bernie Williams. Durrett. 61-55-15 for Kenny Durrett.
A great basketball player is Ken Durrett. He's going to get even better. He plays with both hands. He can shoot with either hand.
They work to Porter from the line. 61-57, and Howard Porter with 15. Wait a minute. Time here as I have to pull a streamer off the floor. 4 minutes, 36 seconds. LaSalle with a brace of 10 earlier in this half, trailing 42-38, went ahead 48-42, and has led ever since. And LaSalle in no particular hurry, of course, sitting on a 4-point lead. Cannon, Szcesny, good, Szcesny!
Big basket by Ed Szcesny.
8 points, and Roland Taylor will come in to finish it off. He's got 4, and he's going to come in now as Jonesy goes to the hoop. Long rebound to Porter. Porter with a shot. Nope. Before the shot, Szcesny's foul. 1 and 1 for Porter. Taylor in, Dunphy out. As Roland with 4 comes in with 4:08 on the clock.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Schaefer Beer, as another major event in your Schaefer circle of sports. Remember Schaefer, it's the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
63-58. Chez has made some important buckets tonight. 63-59, and Howard Porter's kind of taken over things for the scoring with 17 points. Foul on Howard Porter, and Durrett at the line. The 16th foul, so from this point on, he gets the 1 shot here. LaSalle will also be shooting 1 and 1. But this is a single shot here. Kenny Durrett, 63-59. LaSalle, rebound, Porter. 3:50. Porter, the fake, the shot, the rebound. And a foul called here on Szcesny.
Well, you just got an idea of what Porter is capable of. He got up so high that he got himself a shot. He didn't really have a shot. He got up so high that he got himself one, missed it, and somehow with those other big guys under there managed to get in for the rebound and drew a foul.
He's got 20 rebounds, 17 points. And he's done it all here, Charlie. He's just doing it all on the boards and at the line and from the field, and it's 63-60. And we've got ourselves a game with only 2 points separating the two. LaSalle by 2 with 3:39 to go. Taylor, Szcesny, Cannon. Ball away. Szcesny rebound. Szcesny with a bucket. 65-61.
Another big play by Ed Szcesny.
Szcesny with 10 points. And out of the cauldron of the Big Five comes some very unlikely heroes in big games, as you know. Melchione loses it. 3:09 on the clock. LaSalle by 4 with the ball. Szcesny intercepted by Melchione. Chez looked like he wanted to go to the hole and saw an open man. I'll bet they're looking for Howard Porter. What'll you bet? And a foul here. Roland Taylor's out of the game.
Yes, and Fran Dunphy will come back. There goes Roland. Be sure to watch the next Big Five doubleheader live from the Palestra. That's Wednesday night at 7. Temple against Penn State. Villanova plays Clinches in color. Right here on Sports 17. Timeout with the score. LaSalle 65, Villanova 61.
All right, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Fran Dunphy is coming back into the basketball game because Fatty Taylor has failed out of this game. But
He certainly has.
Dump, it took a long time for you to get in the game, and we kind of mentioned, you said the rotation was never really a set rotation in terms of when you would get in. So what was it like? It's a big game when you do take the floor. It's already the second half.
I don't remember being afraid.
We saw
I'm afraid
that.
now.
Yeah, it didn't take him, it took him a long time to get in. It didn't take him a long time to take a shot.
Right away, shot right away.
And made it.
And made it.
Made one, I didn't make the other, but there's a banker.
Was that your typical that you would use glass like that, Dump?
I played at a playground called Aronimink Playground. They had those tinny backboards with the holes in them. You could smash it against the backboard, just kind of lay it.
And that was Dump's shot. He could make the bank shot.
But it was just tremendous to be involved in it, and I just only worried if we won the game. I would love to have played more, but and I would have guarded O'Hanlon a whole lot better than that if I.
I'm serious though, Fran. I mean, most of the times that we've seen you here, you liked putting it on the floor. Was that? I mean, you thought you could just get by your guy?
I thought I was pretty good at driving the basketball. You know, pretty good ball handler. And I think I said in the beginning of the game, they put Fatty Taylor, the best defender, and then Dump, the really good defender, and Frankie Gillen, so they left me alone. They let me do whatever I wanted. And fortunately, I had a couple opportunities to take it to the basket.
My man had a pretty good game back in the day.
I think he did too. We're finally seeing Howard Porter and Ken Durrett's offensive skills. Most of the first half, we saw what they could do on the glass and blocking shots. Actually, we continue to see that. And I know we've talked about what their styles of game, but I'll ask you to emphasize it again. Porter and then Durrett.
Well, for me, Porter was, again, a power forward, a consummate power forward. Kenny was more of a basketball player, had different kinds of skills, putting the ball on the ground and making better decisions with the ball, and could play defense as well, block shots and change shots. And he was just an all-around type basketball player, and I think Howard was a great player, but just not as skilled on the ball handling aspects of it.
Well, I think there was one game I recall, I can't remember, it was a big game, and I said, I think Durrett has played all 5 positions tonight at one time or another. Would I have been correct in saying that?
Well, he was just, and I learned this from Coach O'Hanlon all the time too, if we push the ball up the court and Kenny Durrett had the ball on the wing, I mean, he was for all intents and purposes, the point guard. He was either going to make a shot or make a play or make somebody better. So when we moved the basketball, obviously everybody's job when you had it to make a good decision with it, and Kenny was a great decision maker.
By the way, inform the fans that you could not dunk in those days.
Right.
And I think also, you know, these two are compared all the time because they were contemporaries. They were the same
era.
And everybody's saying who was better. You know, you would take either one in a heartbeat.
Right.
You know, Howard was a terrific rebounder, shot blocker. Probably in that aspect, he was better than Kenny Durrett, shooting the basketball. But as Dump just said, all around, being able to play a lot, making people around them better as far as making plays off the dribble, off the pass. Kenny was terrific.
They would have been great teammates, by the way.
Yes, they would.
Oh, that would have been a heck of a front line. Early in this part of the game, we saw kind of a scuffle, if you would, between Szcesny and Howard Porter. And one, because it wasn't that physical. We were talking about how there weren't fouls and you weren't really allowed to touch anybody out. But one, that was as physical as it got, obviously. Was there bad blood at all ever between? I mean, we know through Big Five.
I don't think so. You just see how quickly that broke up. I mean, there was such respect, and we grew up, we all played against each other all the time in the playground. So we were all friends, and that's what made it even more intense because you didn't want to lose your friends. I had to go and hang out with Dunphy all summer, and he didn't say anything, but I knew he knew that they won the game, you know. But it was just friendship, and as you just saw in that little scuffle there, it was stopped very quickly, and everybody just went about their merry way.
As you know so well, because your dad was a big star in the Big Five, right?
He was among the players.
Well, he was
that
among the
played
players,
well.
okay,
Yes.
at St. Joe.
Yep.
But I think when I first came here in the mid-'60s and started to do Big Five basketball, had come out of Buffalo where Canisius, Bana, and Niagara were playing, but it wasn't anything like this. But the Big Five was about as friendly a group, coaches and players, as you could ask for, because we all made reference to the fact that the ACC hated each other.
Right.
Well, you knew here that they, you know, they competed, but you guys didn't hate each other. None of that went on here. Very proud of that.
Actually, that's nice. I think that part of the tradition continues.
I think it does too. I would give great credit to those guys who were coaches and administrators for the Big Five schools in those days. They got together, they had dinners together.
Oh,
they
yeah.
really were very respectful of each other's programs.
And one note that even I had forgotten about, before the Big Five, which was 1955, that Convention Hall was the site of the games for Temple and LaSalle
and St.
Joe. And it was penned at the Palestra, joined by Villanova. And they didn't play each other. But then in '55, when it all started, and Herb Good started it, he was, I guess, the man behind the plan. And that's what became Big Five basketball. And in about a 20-year period, it was premier in the country. There was no place like Philadelphia because there were 5 schools, all darn good, within walking distance.
Yeah, very small.
Well,
radius.
maybe not walking distance, running distance.
Depends on who was doing the walking.
Right.
In a game
back in those days.
I know. In a game full of. Oh, I'm sorry. We're just going to get
that year. You know, we were in the top 10. Temple won the NIT.
Yes.
Penn was just coming into their own with Wohl and Jimmy Wolf and Bilski and.
We know what LaSalle and Villanova were doing.
Sure, and St. Joe was a terrific basketball team with Danny Kelly and Mike Howard. That was terrific times in the Big Five.
All right, we have the final minutes to bring you some big plays coming up. Ken Durrett and LaSalle break the hearts of Nova fans across the Delaware Valley, but Howard Porter would not go away quietly. One for the ages wraps up right after this.
It's a big basket. Maybe the biggest in the ball game.
Faster than a BMW. Quieter than a Lexus. Experience the all-new Ford Edge, inspired by a new point of view and the soundtrack of your life. Ford Edge is packed.
Howard Porter, when we left you, there was 2:54 left on the clock. LaSalle, led by the one-of-a-kind Ken Durrett, was on top, 65-61. Durrett had 16 at this point in the game. Porter led the Wildcats with 19 and was a force every time he touched the ball. But as we return to action, we'll see a play that exemplifies the belief held by most Big Five observers that Ken Durrett is the best player in city history.
Villanova will be coming to the line with the John Jones to shoot one and possibly another on the bonus setup. Johnny Jones is a not too good free throw shooter over the course of the year, about 50%. He's had a lot of trouble at the line, Al, as you know.
Yeah, surprisingly, in his senior year.
And he missed
Durrett
one
gets
there.
the rebound. And a very, very big play. 4 points, 65-61, 2:47 to go. LaSalle with the ball. And my contention is the number 1 team in the East comes out of this ball game. The winner, the number 2 team, the loser. There are 2 better teams in Eastern basketball than you're seeing on the floor right now, and it would appear as though LaSalle wants to. There it is, Durrett, and it's good, and he was fouled by Jones.
Well, that is a big basket. Maybe the biggest of the ball game, because the score now goes up by 6. Have been down to 4. With 2:27 remaining. And LaSalle with the ball handlers, Al, to put on a little freeze, should they so desire.
Villanova, and that's Frankie Gillen, in a conversation with Steve Hanzo, indicated a foul, but no basket. But he's not winning the argument. The basket is good. 67-61, and Durrett at the line can add to it as he gets a pat from Bernie Williams. It's good.
Now this makes it tough because Villanova is now down by 7.
Which happens to be 1 less than the biggest lead of the night, which was 8 points. Porter off the mark. Rebound LaSalle, and with 2:16 to go, they are in control. They got an open man, Szcesny. Biggest lead of the night right here as the Explorers are breaking it open, and timeout, Villanova.
Well, here we are. And the LaSalle bench is going wild as you look at a very unhappy Villanova group across the way. You see the task that now faces the Wildcats. With just 2:04 to play, they are down by 9. And oddly enough, Al, or maybe not oddly, but it has often been said about this particular group of LaSalle players that Tom Golden now coaches that they are great individualists, excellent shooters, good ball handlers. If they can ever get together, put their talents together, particularly defensively, learn how to play a help-out defense and a help-out offense, setting picks for the other guy, looking for the open man. And this, I think, has to go to Tommy's credit because he's had them doing that here tonight. And they have done a great job defensively. A team that scores 89 a game, and when people think about LaSalle, they think about their fast breaks. They think about the explosiveness of guys like Bernie Williams and Durrett and Cannon. But they don't think about their defense, and yet I think when you talk to Tom Gola after this game, should LaSalle win it, they now have the upper hand. He's going to be very happy with the defense that has been played. All right, Villanova with the basketball at half court.
8 straight points for the Explorers as Villanova got to within 2. Melchione. Dunphy with a rebound. Less than 2 minutes to go now. 70-61. 8 straight points, 10 straight points a little while ago. And the Explorers have done it. It's their ball game. 1:39 on the clock and a foul by Melchione, and Dunphy gets 1 and 1. And now you start to think, Charlie, now you start to think about what it might have been, because this team is not eligible to compete in a postseason tournament.
Yes, and I think that it will be after this game that the players will start to think most about it.
Yeah, it becomes very obvious tonight. 1:35, 9 points down, and Villanova hoping for miracles now. And here's the miracle, Howard Porter, if he could do it. Jonesy. It's good. So you don't count the Cats out yet, but there's only 1:20 to go, and they're 7 down. And the Explorers have played themselves a game tonight.
Villanova now playing a zone press.
Eating up time.
As they must, they have to have the ball in a hurry.
Szcesny open his cannon. To Durrett, it's good.
That's just a great feed by Larry Cannon.
Kenny Durrett's got 20 points, less than a minute to go, 72-63. Porter over, and I mean over Szcesny.
Oh, does he get up for that shot?
72-65 and 21 points for Howard Porter. So nothing to choose between the Super Softs tonight, by the way. A bad pass. Time's running out, 32 seconds. Gillen, Porter. Porter, not this time. Knocked out of bounds by John Jones. 25 seconds remaining. 72-65, LaSalle. So we'll see Durrett and Porter go hammer and tongs again next season and the season after. They're only sophomores. But aren't they something? All alone, Bernie Williams. Goaltending on Howard Porter. 74-65 with 13 seconds to go. Bernie with 18 points. Will you hear the explosion when this one is over? John Jones. 74-67. There it is. It's all over. LaSalle 74. Villanova 67.
And with that, we had one for the ages. LaSalle winning the game, as Big Al just said, 74-67. Durrett finished with 20 points and 15 boards. Howard Porter managed 21 points and 21 boards. Bernie Williams, who was so hot to start this game, chipped in with 18. Larry Cannon had 11 for the Cats. Johnny Jones matched Porter's 21, and our own Fran O'Hanlon was 5 of 11 from the floor and finished with 11 points. Guys, I know we said that there was a lot about, sign of the times. It was 38 years ago, and so much has changed. Oh. But Fran, I'll start with you. And what do you like to take away from that era of college basketball? Not what has changed, but what you like to remember.
Well, more the friendships and the competition, the Big Five. It was such a great time in college basketball in the city, the Big Five, and who you play with, who you played against. Watching this game, it really doesn't do justice on as far as the crowd, the hype that came into this game, and the style of play is so different. It's hard to compare. I can remember these were two of the best teams in the country at that time, and we had played in the preseason NIT at one point with North Carolina, UCLA. So I'd seen all those teams up close, and LaSalle was as good as any. Watching Howard Porter and Kenny Durrett brings back such great memories. They were two terrific basketball players and terrific people, as we can attest to. But it was a great era in Philadelphia basketball, and it's great seeing it. I just wish that I didn't have to see us lose again. I was hoping the outcome would be a little different this time.
Dump, you've coached in the Big Five now for so long, and obviously you played in it. Both bring equal joy when you watch both parts?
Yeah, but there's nothing like playing. I mean, we coach because we can't compete physically anymore. And you love the competition, but there's nothing like playing, and that was just a great time in our lives, as Fran was talking about. Now, I'll talk to Fatty Taylor and Larry Cannon before the week is out, and I'll bust on them again about some of the plays that were made. But the relationships were fantastic. Within our team was wonderful, and I give Kenny Durrett and Bernie Williams and Fatty Taylor and Larry Cannon a lot of credit for that, because they were dominant guys as players, but really terrific guys in terms of teammates.
Big Al, final
38
thought.
years ago, and I'll be 79 shortly, 50 years in television, and I don't want it to end, and I don't think it will, because hopefully by the end of the year, in conjunction with Kevin Mulligan, who used to be at the Daily News, there will be a book. And it won't be just about the games, it'll be about the people, and it will be about what happened behind the camera as well as what happened in front of the camera. I got too much to tell and too much time on my hands, so we're writing a book, and hopefully by the end of the year it'll come out.
I'll look forward to that. We hope you all at home enjoyed what truly was a game for the ages between LaSalle and Villanova back in 1969. Our thanks to the Big Five, Big Al, Fran O'Hanlon, and Fran Dunphy for allowing us to go down memory lane. As we leave you tonight, we highlight the best of Howard Porter from that winter night his sophomore year, a small tribute to a remarkable college career.
High-low, they work to Durrett, blocked by Porter. Rebound by Porter. This is Taylor. Szcxesny, blocked by Porter. Rebound Jones. Porter. 26-23. Villanova. Porter with 6. Taylor alone. Blocked by Porter. They set Porter up behind the screen.
Well, you know he won't keep missing.
Williams hits.
America's best-selling small SUV just keeps getting better. The 2008 Ford Escape. 3-liter Durrett V6, up to 28 miles per gallon.